Well, once in our lifetime, we have suffered from one or the other problem in our day-to-day life. Say last week, you fall down while cycling. Say day after, before yesterday, you had a all of a sudden strike with your friend while going for your recess period and you suffered a hand injury. Say your grandmother for the last 1 week is suffering from a stomach ache and doctor is telling that because she is aged, she is suffering from that disease. So what I mean to say is, one or the other time in our life, we have suffered from some or the other type of diseases as such. And with this, we start the 13th chapter of your science textbook, Why Do We Fall Ill? Well, it's a question. Why do we fall ill? Ill means to have some disease. We say, no, I'm ill because for the last 3 days I had fever. I'm ill because for the last 2 hours I'm having a severe headache. I'm ill because I had a very gratuitous injury in my knees while playing cricket. So illness is something which is related to having diseases. And so we shall start this topic, why do we fall ill? Say our body. Our body is made up of cells. Cluster of cells form a tissue. And the tissue is forming organs. This is the cycle we all know very well. Our cells are specific to their function when they constitute the tissue. Like the heart will not interfere with the function of stomach. The stomach will not interfere with the function of reproductive organ. The reproductive organ will not interfere with the function of respiratory system. But there is no interference, that doesn't mean there is no interdependence. There is. If my kidney fails, my brain also ceases to think. If my stomach aches, then my heartbeat also becomes faster. So that means when one of our organ system is facing certain type of problem, the rest of the organ system will be affected depending upon the amount of association they have in between them. Cell is said to be the structural and functional unit of our human system. But is it a static system? Like, is it stationary? Never. The cell is a dynamic system. The protein, the lipids, the carbohydrates, the sulfates, nitrates, whatever type of components are present in the cell are always going on with certain type of activity. What I mean to say is, the works in a cell is never resting. It is always in a dynamic position. Our heart is beating, so all the cardiac cells are working. Our stomach is contracting and relaxing, all the stomach cells are working. So that means the cell is in a static position, and defect, injury or worklessness of a cell will cause what is called as disease. Am I clear? That means disease is at cellular level is the inability of that cell to work, to function its own regular way. Coming to the point of this organ system, what I told you, brain is involved in thinking. Say you had a very burning sensation while urinating. So will your brain think normally? Never. Your brain will always keep on thinking about the disease or about the problem, about the probable causes because of which you are suffering from that particular type of burning sensation. That means our organ systems are collaboratively associated with each other, and one problem in any one type of organ system causes problem in both the or many of the organ systems that are associated with it. Coming to the next topic, that is why or what is the concept of the disease? That is, how come the very concept of the disease came into being. Disease is said to be the failure of being healthy. Now, your grandmother can say my grandmother or my grandfather has a poor health because of her age. Your teacher or your mother or your father can say you're not having a healthy attitude or your behavior is not healthy as per other students because you're biting your nails, you're not doing your homework properly, you're not attentive in the class. Maybe even your the shopkeeper in the market may not have a healthy attitude because he's always in a mood of befooling others by taking large amount of money, saying that cost price of the items are very high. So that means health is something which is a state of being well. What is it? State of being well. For your grandmother whose age is 80 years, going to the temple nearby to the home is a good health condition. But for your mother who is just 42 years, will that be only good health? Enough that she can just go to the temple, not further that? For her, it is not a good health condition. So, this condition of health is something very relative. That is, the state of being well is not only based on one parameter. When your teacher says you are not having a healthy attitude, being attentive in class will imply that you have a healthy attitude. So, there your social health comes into being. Say the person who has gone mad is roaming in the streets in naked condition but not disturbing anyone, will you call him in the state of being well? Never. So there comes the mental connotation. So health can be defined as a state of being well in three ways: physically, mentally, and socially. So the state of being well physically, mentally and socially we will be calling as health. I think I'm clear to all of you. So health's definition is state of being well physically, mentally and socially. Okay, now comes to a part that what are the factors that determine a good health. Okay, what are the factors? The first factor that determines a good health is public health. Public health. Say, after the tsunami of 2005, the public health of Andaman and Nicobar Islands totally gone into mismanaged condition. People were not having a roof over their head. People were not having food to eat. People were not having water to drink. So public health was disturbed. So the major reason for the public health to be disturbed will be disasters. Say Bhuj earthquake, which occurred on a Republic Day on a fine morning. The entire Bhuj of Gujarat came into the debris. People died like massacre. So public health of the entire place Bhuj was disturbed. Even say I was not a victim of that earthquake, I suffered because of the rest of the victims, because diseases were the condition of Bhuj was totally engulfed in various type of diseases. Because earthquakes conclusion was water became very contaminated. People were not having food to eat, so definitely that caused a poor health in my body. Say again example, when atomic bomb was dropped on Hiroshima Nagasaki city of Japan by America, till date the people are not having a good health. Their individual person was not suffering, a community of people suffered, and the community of the people suffered caused various types of diseases, and those diseases affected even the non-affected individuals. Say garbages are being lying on the streets and mosquitoes are totally swarming over it. So is the public health rehabilitable? No, you cannot stay there. That means public health is an important issue, and that is the first topic under the second bit of your chapter, that is personal and community issues with matter and health. So the first topic is public health. Second is, for having good health you need good food. Good food comes from good earning. If you are not having proper amount of money in your pockets, you cannot have good food. So good food is what is an implication of money, and money is what is an implication of opportunity to work. If you are not having a good job, if your earning is not up to the level, then you cannot have a good food, which implies you cannot have a good health. So after public health, the second community issue which matter for health is opportunity to work. And the last topic is sexual equity and harmony. Say for example, you are working in a company for the last 10 years along with 3 other members. Those 3 other colleagues and you, means 4 total, you were recruited to that company on the same date. Okay, and after 3 years one of the member got promoted to vice president post. After 5 years another member was also posted to a higher position. The third member upon 8 years of completion of the job also got a wonderful position after being promoted, but you are still there in the post in which you were recruited. So won't you feel that there is a lack of social equity? There is. So when you feel that your rights are being violated, there you are finding social inequality. For example, if there is no harmony in the society, if you are fighting with your neighbor every 2 other days, then you cannot have a mental well-being, or in one way you cannot have a good health. So for being in good health, you need public health to be good, you need a proper opportunity to work, and you need the persistence of social equality as well as social harmony. And these 3 will make a state of well-being. State of well-being both physically, mentally and socially. So for being healthy, these 3 connotations are required. This is the second bit of your chapter which says personal and community issues both matter for health. You can see both matters for health. The next topic says what is the distinction between disease free and being healthy. See, here I have marked 3 words: healthy, disease free and disease. Disease means dis-ease. Break the term. Ease means comfort. Absence or lack of comfort is what is dis-ease. That is when you are not feeling comfortable, when you are not in a state of comfort. That means you are suffering from a disease. And also there is one point associated with it, that you definitely know a cause for not being in comfort. For example, you are having loose motion. That is a cause for considering yourself having some disease. You are having severe headache. You are considering that you have some disease. You are having severe pain in your arms. You can consider that you have some disease. But you may not know the final cause of that disease, because you may have loose motion because of diarrhea, but you do not know what caused that loose motion. But you know that loose motion is one of the cause for yourself feeling to be diseased. So disease is a condition where you are not comfortable with knowing the cause of being not in comfort, though you may not know the final cause. Again, I am repeating the explanation. Say you have tuberculosis and that is causing coughing. Coughing is the cause of yourself being thought of in disease. Means you think you are having some disease because you are coughing. So coughing is a cause. But you do not know the basic background which is responsible for causing the coughing. There is a bacteria which causes tuberculosis, and that bacteria is responsible for coughing. But you do not know that. The final cause is not known to you, but it is known that coughing is a cause, and that cause is making you feel that you are diseased. So disease is clear, the state of being not in comfort, knowing the cause also. Next is disease free and healthy. Do you really think that absence of disease is health? No, not really. You may be not having any disease, but then also you can say that you have a poor health. See, I have written healthy, good health and poor health. Poor health and good health, these are very relative terms. What are they? They are very relative terms. What does it mean is, for a cricketer, able to run is a good health. But for a dancer, able to dance and stretch the body properly is good health. Not able to sing properly or not able to give out the entire amount of push from the lungs capable enough for making a good singing line is not a good health for a singer. Means, according to your position in the society, or you can say according to your occupation or according to your own status, you decide your good health. For me, not being able to stretch my body will not be a reason for having poor health. If I am not able to make various types of hand mudras, I have no problem. I may not have a disease. But for a dancer, not being able to do so is a condition of poor health. So health is a relative term. For a cricketer, for an athlete, being able to run properly is a condition of good health. For a dancer, being able to stretch the body is a condition for good health. Not being able to do that is the condition of poor health. So good health and poor health is also a very relative term. That is, it depends upon the person concerned. Am I clear to all of you? Then you are having the condition called disease free. Also the disease free condition is called healthy condition. But all disease free conditions are healthy conditions, but all healthy conditions are not disease free conditions. Means you are not having disease, you can imply that I am healthy. I am healthy, that means I have no disease. Okay, but I am disease free does not always mean that I am healthy, because health is a relative term, as I have explained to you. Okay. So, when we talk of poor health, we come that there is a reason for the society to play. That is, when you say that I am diseased, I am the individual sufferer. I am suffering alone. But when you say that I am having some poor health, there comes the function or action of what is called disease. So, I think it is now clear that healthy means the state of being well, physically, mentally, socially. Health is a relative term. Good health and poor health, for different person concerned, good health is different, poor health is different. Disease free is not always healthy. Disease free means absence of disease. Disease free people are healthy, that is for sure, but health is not only the absence of disease or disease free conditions. And the last one is disease, absence of comfort with certain cause. Now we shall come to the part of the symptoms or the signs of disease, which comes at the second bit of your chapter, that is disease and its causes, or what or how does the disease look. Now, pay your attention here. Disease is marked by symptoms. Disease is marked by symptoms. Disease is marked by symptoms or signs. Means when you are able to exhibit certain signs that you are affected, you can say that I may be diseased. So, it can be a headache, it can be a stomach ache, or it can be feeling dizziness. Symptoms are the signs of the disease. Signs of the disease means these manifestation of the signs will indicate you that yes, your body needs to be checked by a doctor and you need to take certain medicine because you are having a disease. But mind it, the symptoms can be common to many diseases. Like having headache is a common symptom for having many diseases. Cough and cold, or that is common cough and cold, you can have a headache. You can have headache while you are having tuberculosis. You can have a headache if you have jaundice. You can have a headache if you have fever. So one symptom can be common to various types of diseases, but symptoms are required because these symptoms are diagnosed by the doctors. They are diagnosed by doctor. I think I am very clear to all of you. So disease, symptoms and diagnosis by the doctors. Now coming to the portion of the next part, that is the types of disease. This is very important.